Our world is filled with countless strange and mind-boggling wonders, enigmas that have stood the test of time, often defying the efforts of the greatest minds to unravel them. Will Nostradamus' chilling predictions for 2024 come true? Are we living in a simulation? Do extraterrestrials exist? Is the near-death experience real? Did dinosaurs walk amongst humans? Is Queen Nefertiti buried in King Tut's tomb? Was the continent of Kumari Kandam myth or reality? In this compilation, we'll take a look at some of those perplexing myths, events, and evidence that never fail to fascinate us.
What does the future hold for us in 2024 as foretold by the 16th century seer Nostradamus? A question that stokes the curiosity of many. Nostradamus, born Michel de Nostradamus, was a French physician, astrologer, and reputed seer, known for his prophecies that have intrigued thinkers for over 4 centuries. His method of prediction? Cryptic quatrains, 4-line verses in his masterwork Les Prophéties, meaning the prophecies, published in 1555. In today's discourse, we're zeroing in on what this enigmatic seer has prophesied for the year 2024. From climatic catastrophes to the rise of a new monarch, Nostradamus' visions paint a vivid, albeit chilling, picture of the future. A future that seems to be teetering on the brink of change and upheaval. But remember, these prophecies are open to interpretation and are not an absolute representation of what's to come. They are, however, a fascinating exploration into the realm of possibilities. Now let's delve into these prophecies and what they could mean. Nostradamus foresaw a worsening climate crisis in 2024. His cryptic quatrains, written in the 16th century, have been interpreted by many as a warning of extreme weather events and floods. These aren't just predictions of torrential downpours or scorching heat waves. No, they signal a shift in our climate that could lead to heightened natural disasters on an unprecedented scale. Imagine, if you will, the potential impacts on agriculture. The lifeblood of our societies, agriculture could face massive disruptions due to erratic weather patterns and devastating floods. This in turn could trigger a domino effect, leading to food shortages and economic instability. But the implications don't stop there. Our economies, especially those heavily reliant on sectors like farming and fishing, could take a severe hit. The ripple effects of this could be felt worldwide, leading to financial turmoil and social unrest. As we grapple with the implications of a worsening climate crisis, Nostradamus also foresaw geopolitical tensions escalating. The climate crisis is not just a distant, unimaginable event. It's a reality that we could face in our everyday lives, altering the way we live and work. Imagine waking up one day to find your home flooded due to erratic rain patterns, or your city experiencing an unprecedented heat wave. The food we consume, the water we drink, the air we breathe, everything could change. The climate crisis could affect our health, with increased pollution leading to a rise in respiratory diseases. Our living conditions could deteriorate, with extreme weather events causing damage to infrastructure and homes. But it's not all doom and gloom. Small changes in our daily routines can make a big difference. We can adopt sustainable practices like reducing our water usage, recycling, and minimizing our carbon footprint. We can support renewable energy and push for green policies in our local communities. Governments and corporations also have a role to play by investing in sustainable technologies and implementing policies to combat climate change. A naval battle, possibly involving China and Taiwan, along with the royal turmoil in Britain, forms another part of Nostradamus' 2024 predictions. The seer's prophecy foretells of a time where the seas will be a battleground, a potential conflict between the eastern powers of China and Taiwan. This naval war could escalate tensions, disrupting world peace and stability. Simultaneously, across the globe in Britain, royal turmoil is predicted. A change in the monarchy or a controversy engulfing the royal family could be on the horizon. This could lead to a period of uncertainty and instability within the nation and could have ripple effects on the global stage. A new pope succeeding Pope Francis was another prediction made by Nostradamus for this year. In the intricate tapestry of his prophecies, Nostradamus foresaw a transition within the Catholic Church. This shift, marked by the rise of a new pope, could instigate a wave of changes within the church. Will this new pope bring about a revolution of thought and practice within the faith? We can only speculate. The implications of this shift could be vast, influencing not only the Catholic community but also the global religious landscape. In the grand scheme of global events predicted by Nostradamus, the ascendancy of a new pope stands as a significant point of change. It symbolizes a potential shift in religious paradigms and a new chapter in the history of the Catholic Church. As we look towards the future, we're left to wonder how many of Nostradamus's predictions will come to pass, and what will their impact be on our world.
Have you ever wondered if we're living in a simulation? Sounds a bit like a sci-fi movie, huh? That's right, we're delving into the realm of simulation theory today, a concept that proposes our reality might just be a sophisticated computer simulation. Imagine that, us humans, potentially nothing more than digital constructs in a hyper-realistic game. This isn't just the stuff of Hollywood blockbusters. Figures like Elon Musk and Neil deGrasse Tyson have brought this mind-bending theory into popular discourse. So, are we all just characters in an advanced video game? Let's dive deeper into this mind-boggling concept. Simulation theory isn't a new kid on the block. It has roots in historical, philosophical, and cultural contexts. Think Plato's allegory of the cave? The ancient philosopher suggested that humans are like prisoners in a cave, only seeing shadows of reality. The Aztecs, too, believed in multiple layers of reality, a concept not too dissimilar from the layers of a computer simulation. And hundreds of years before Plato, ancient Hindu texts said the world and all that we experience was Maya, or an illusion where everything is preordained. Fast forward to the 21st century and enter Nick Bostrom. This philosopher suggested that we might be living in a computer-generated simulation. His simulation argument presents a trilemma. One of three possibilities must be true. Either humans go extinct before reaching a post-human stage, post-humans are not interested in running ancestor simulations, or we are almost certainly living in a simulation. Adding a scientific spin to this philosophical musing, physicist Melvin Vopson and mathematician Serban Lepidatu developed the second law of infodynamics. This law suggests that information entropy can decrease over time, a concept that supports our simulation hypothesis. Vopson's research found evidence in genetics, atomic physics, and cosmology. These findings imply our universe may be a compressed simulation with information as its fundamental building block. So, if we are in a simulation, who's playing the game? A higher being, a futuristic AI? Or maybe it's a bored teenager from the year 3000? If we're indeed living in a simulation, there should be some evidence, right? Well, some theorists suggest looking for artifacts in our universe, limitations that could hint at a simulated reality. Picture it like this. In computing, there's a limit to processor speed, correct? In our universe, some propose that the speed of light could be our version of that limit. However, as you might expect, not everyone is on board with this notion. Critics label it as pseudoscience, arguing that it's as likely as finding a unicorn at the end of a rainbow. The debates are heated, with everyone from philosophers to cosmologists throwing their hats in the ring. Despite the skepticism, the simulation theory continues to tantalize our minds. So next time you experience a glitch in your day, remember, it might just be the Matrix at work.
Today, we delve into the fascinating Indus Valley civilization. Nestled in the heart of South Asia, it was one of the world's cradles of civilization that rivaled and, in some respects, surpassed the likes of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. The civilization flourished in the Bronze Age from around 3300 BC to 1300 BC, and in its mature form from 2600 BC to 1900 BC. A gem of the Near East, major urban centers such as Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were the heartbeat of its peoples, serving as lively hubs of activity. This civilization was not just another name in the annals of history, and you'll soon learn why. So, prepare to unravel its myriad mysteries. Did you know that the cities of the Indus Valley civilization were meticulously planned and well organized? As an entity that thrived on the fertile alluvial plains of the Indus River, the citizens of this ancient civilization had an incredible grasp of urban planning and engineering. Their cities were laid out in grid patterns, with buildings made from uniform, sun-dried bricks. But their crowning achievement was undoubtedly their advanced drainage system. Their innovative practices in hygiene and urban planning were truly way ahead of their time. Each house was equipped with a private well, and wastewater was directed to covered drains lining the major streets. Imagine that. A civilization flourishing over 5,000 years ago had a sanitation system that would rival some modern ones. A Bronze Age marvel, the Indus Valley civilization is estimated to have housed up to 5 million individuals. This bustling populace was spread over a geographical area more vast than that of either Egypt or Mesopotamia. And yet, despite the enormity of their population, we are left with an intriguing mystery. The Indus script, a complex system of symbols, remains undeciphered despite numerous attempts over the decades. The enigmatic writings, mostly found on seals and pottery, are a tantalizing puzzle for linguists and historians alike, and remains one of the greatest conundrums in the study of ancient history. Sure, the Harappans boasted advanced architecture, as can be evidenced by their impressive dockyards, granaries, warehouses, brick platforms, and protective walls. But the Indus Valley civilization was not just about mega constructions. It was also a flourishing hub of agriculture and intricate artistry. The fertile plains of the Indus River and its tributaries provided the perfect ground for agriculture, which served as the economic backbone. This flood-supported farming led to sizable agricultural surpluses, which in turn propelled the development of cities. But perhaps most captivating of all is the artistry of the Indus people. They crafted sophisticated artifacts that still charm us today. While the renowned dancing girl bronze sculpture serves as a testament to their advanced metallurgical skills, the alluring steatite figurine famously described as a priest king has managed to remain as inscrutable as ever. Other objects unearthed from beneath the sands of the ages include terracotta pottery with exquisite designs, ornaments of semi-precious stones such as carnelian and faience, and gold jewelry and bronze vessels. This list would not be complete without making a mention of that most touching of all discoveries, children's toys. Terracotta images of cows, bears, monkeys, and dogs, some with wheels, were made for the enjoyment of the young ones of that ancient era. The Indus people didn't just stick to river valleys and fertile plains. They were pioneers in establishing coastal settlements, leveraging the resources of both land and sea. This expansion demonstrates their adaptability and prowess in city planning, even in diverse landscapes. Judging from the dispersal of Indus civilization artifacts, trade networks, both land and maritime, economically integrated a huge landmass, including modern-day Pakistan, Mesopotamia, portions of Afghanistan, the coastal regions of Persia, and of course, northern and western India. It's amply evident that the Indus population comprised not just creators of a civilization, they were architects of a vast and diverse empire. Ultimately, after reaching its zenith, the grand Indus Valley civilization began to wane. Though many theories have been proposed for its decline, a drying climate appears to have been the main culprit. The once abundant river that had nourished their crops and fueled their prosperity began to recede, leaving the lands parched and infertile. The people, unable to sustain their way of life, slowly dispersed, abandoning their once bustling cities. Thus, one of the greatest civilizations of the ancient world, a testament to human innovation and resilience, came to a gradual end. Yet it left behind a formidable legacy that continues to fascinate and teach us down to this day.
Africa is home to a rich tapestry of cultures and civilizations, some of which are often overshadowed by the more well-known ancient societies. Today we'll explore 5 amazing African civilizations that are as fascinating as they are lesser known. First on our list is Great Zimbabwe, a medieval city that was once the heart of a thriving empire. Built between the 11th and 15th centuries, Great Zimbabwe was a hub of trade and culture, known for its impressive stone architecture and advanced urban planning. Next, we have the Kingdom of Aksum, located in present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. Flourishing from the 1st to the 7th century AD, Aksum was a major player in the ancient world, known for its powerful navy, impressive architecture, and unique obelisks. Moving on, at number 3, is the Kingdom of Kush, located in what is now Sudan. This ancient civilization thrived from around 1070 BC to 350 AD and was known for its advanced iron smelting technology as well as its impressive pyramids at sites like Meroe. In the 4th spot, we have the Kingdom of Benin, located in present-day Nigeria. This civilization reached its zenith in the 15th and 16th centuries and was renowned for its highly skilled artisans who created exquisite bronze sculptures and intricate ivory carvings. Finally, we have the Kingdom of Mapungubwe, located in present-day South Africa. This kingdom thrived from around 1075 to 1220 AD and was known for its great wealth and robust trade networks, as well as its unique artifacts that blended African and Asian influences. These are just a few examples of the incredible civilizations that have thrived in Africa, each contributing immensely to the culture and heritage of the continent, and indeed the world.
The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were listed as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But were they real? Historians have long debated the existence of these legendary gardens. According to ancient texts, they were built by King Nebuchadnezzar II in the 6th century BC for his homesick wife, Queen Amytis of Media. Descriptions in classical literature state that the Hanging Gardens were an engineering marvel, with an ascending series of tiered gardens containing an array of trees, shrubs, and vines, resembling a large green mountain constructed of mud bricks. However, despite extensive excavations, no definitive archaeological evidence has surfaced to prove their existence. Some experts suggest that the Hanging Gardens were actually located in Nineveh, not Babylon in modern-day Iraq. Other scholars believe that the descriptions of the Hanging Gardens may have been exaggerated or even symbolic, representing the power and wealth of Babylon. Nevertheless, the mystery continues to intrigue and fascinate us.
Crop circles, mind-boggling patterns appearing mysteriously in fields of crops have fascinated and baffled people from as far back as the 17th century. But are these formations simply elaborate hoaxes, or could they be messages from extraterrestrial beings? Some believe that the complexity and precision of crop circles suggest a level of intelligence beyond human capability. The intricate designs and geometric shapes are often said to contain mathematical and scientific codes. Crop circles exhibit characteristics that are not easily explained. The bending of the crop stalks without breaking, the presence of unusual magnetic readings, and the rapid appearance of complex designs all suggest a phenomenon beyond human creation. Crop circles have, pardon the pun, cropped up in various countries across the world: the UK, US, Canada, Australia, France, Germany, Switzerland, and many other European, Scandinavian, and African countries. This sketch of a spaceship creating crop circles was sent to the UK Ministry of Defence in 1998. What is one to make of it? Despite these claims, skeptics argue that crop circles are man-made, created by pranksters using simple tools and techniques. They point to the lack of definitive evidence linking crop circles to extraterrestrial activity. While the debate continues, crop circles remain an enigma, captivating the imagination of believers and skeptics alike. Whether they are stupendous works of art, messages from another world, or simply elaborate hoaxes, the mystery continues to intrigue us all.
Ever heard of a fungus that turns insects into zombies? Meet Ophiocordyceps, the real-life killer lurking in the shadows of our forests. Cordyceps is no ordinary fungus. It infects a diverse range of insects, including ants, and takes control of their bodies and minds, turning them into mere vessels for its own reproduction. Imagine being hijacked by a fungus. For instance, when a spore of cordyceps lands on an ant, it germinates and starts growing inside the body. As it spreads, it releases chemicals that manipulate the insect's behavior, compelling it to climb to optimal conditions. Finally, the infected ant is coerced into clamping down in a death bite, and cordyceps consumes its host from the inside out, eventually sprouting a stalk-like structure from the hapless insect's body. From this stalk, new spores are released, ready to infect more unsuspecting victims. Cordyceps can devastate entire ant colonies in this manner, and over 600 of its species are listed worldwide. A fascinating example of nature's brutality. Cordyceps is also used in traditional medicine, especially in China, for its purported health benefits. Next time you're in the woods, remember the deadly dance of cordyceps, a reminder that even in the smallest of creatures, nature's power and complexity are on full display.
In the shadows of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, lurks a legend, a creature both feared and revered, the Mothman. Towering and ominous, the fearsome bipedal beast appeared as a slender, muscular man in moth-like form, with huge black wings and glowing red eyes. First sighted in November 1966, the creature is said to have flown at great speed while making a screeching sound as it pursued terror-stricken witnesses. Tales of the Mothman soon spread like wildfire, igniting fear and fascination. And with every sighting, the legend grew, enveloping the community in its dark and haunting embrace. The last time the Mothman was sighted, in December 1967, it was blamed for the collapse of the Silver Bridge that resulted in the deaths of 46 people. What was the Mothman? An alien, a supernatural manifestation, or a previously unknown species of animal? The chilling enigma endures. Today, an annual festival in Point Pleasant celebrates the Mothman legend, forever captivating the curious and the brave.
Could the legendary Queen Nefertiti, hailing from the famed Amarna period of the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt, be resting undiscovered within King Tutankhamun's tomb? British Egyptologist Nicholas Reeves sparked this riveting debate in 2015. Hidden hieroglyphics in Tutankhamun's tomb suggest the presence of a secret chamber. Reeves, with his keen eye, discovered that cartouches showing Tutankhamun laying Nefertiti to rest were overlaid by depictions of Tutankhamun's burial by his successor, Ai. This leads to an astounding hypothesis. Could Tutankhamun's tomb be part of a larger burial complex intended for Queen Nefertiti? Though radar scans are yet to confirm this, Reeves is steadfast in his belief. Further studies and analyses give weight to his theory. So the question remains, is the illustrious Queen Nefertiti secretly buried in Tut's tomb? Only time will tell.
Ever pondered the path to becoming a NASA astronaut? It's far more than strapping into a rocket and blasting off into space. Astronaut training is a grueling, all-encompassing process, priming them for the hurdles of space travel. Discover the top 5 training modules NASA astronauts endure. First up, the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory, or NBL. A key segment of training involves simulating microgravity. Here, astronauts rehearse spacewalks underwater, a close approximation to the weightless cosmos. This training acclimates them to the sensation of laboring in space. Secondly, T-38 jet training. Astronauts partake in high-performance jet training in T-38 jets, fostering swift decision-making skills and resilience in high-stress scenarios, vital for space missions. Thirdly, spacecraft simulators. Astronauts dedicate considerable time in simulators, emulating the controls and conditions of spacecraft. They practice a range of scenarios from takeoff to touchdown, refining their piloting and crisis-solving skills. Fourthly, survival training. Astronauts also undertake survival training in severe environments, such as wilderness or ocean. This equips them for emergency situations during a mission or upon Earth re-entry. Finally, robotic arm training. Mastery over the robotic arm is crucial for tasks like assembling colossal spacecraft, executing repairs outside the space station, or deploying payloads. These represent merely a fraction of the training modules NASA astronauts undergo to ensure the triumph of their missions. A grand salute to every astronaut.
Take a step back in time to the beginnings of the cosmos, where the boundaries of human knowledge and the enigmatic blur. Near-death experiences, or NDEs, are more than figments of a filmmaker's imagination. Around 9 million Americans and 5% of the world's population have reported these extraordinary encounters, often after the mind has seemingly ceased to function. These experiences are not fuzzy or dreamlike, but vibrant, intricate memories, often containing details outside the experiencer's knowledge. Might this be proof of life after death? Skeptics urge prudence, pointing to the reliance on individual narratives, the demand for exceptional evidence for such assertions, and the influence of cultural context on these interpretations. These puzzling experiences highlight the brain's complexity and our need to probe further into this captivating phenomenon. Is it evidence of life after death? The jury is still deliberating, but one certainty remains: it's a mystery worth deciphering. As we continue our voyage, remember to maintain an open mind. After all, the cosmos is teeming with more marvels than we could ever envisage.
Have you ever heard of Dorothy Eady, also known as Sadie? An infinitely fascinating character, her story is a remarkable journey that blurs the line between life and afterlife. Born in England in 1904, Dorothy fell down a flight of stairs as a 3-year-old child, after which she began exhibiting strange behavior, claiming to be a reincarnated Egyptian priestess named Bentrishite. She grew ecstatic when her parents took her on a visit to the British Museum, worshipping hoary Egyptian statues whilst declaring they were her people. Dorothy moved to Egypt in 1931, where her enchantment with ancient Egyptian culture heightened. She eventually became an expert in Egyptology and worked as a draftswoman for the Department of Egyptian Antiquities at Abydos in the Temple of Seti I, the illustrious father of Ramesses the Great. Dorothy stated that as Bentrishite, she had lived and served in the Temple of Seti. She firmly believed the pharaoh was her lover in her previous life, and even named her son Seti, after which she was customarily called Seti, or the Mother of Seti. Dorothy claimed that as Bentrishite, she first met King Seti in a lush garden adjoining the Grand Abydos Temple. This garden was, of course, nowhere to be found. But that was until archaeologists excavated a certain location based on her vivid descriptions, and the magnificent truth came to light. Dorothy, who explained she had committed suicide as Bentrishite, reported apparitions and out-of-body experiences several times in her life. She possessed an incredible and uncanny knowledge of ancient Egyptian rites and rituals, which she attributed to rich memories of her past life. In fact, the New York Times described her amazing life story as one of the Western world's most intriguing and convincing modern case histories of reincarnation. After a lifetime of service to Egyptology, Dorothy died in her beloved Abydos in 1981. But her case continues to challenge our perception of reincarnation and the nature of consciousness.
Immerse in the captivating tale of Kumari Kandam, a mythical lost continent believed to have been home to an ancient Tamil civilization. Nestled in South India, it's a story entwined in mystery and intrigue. In the 19th century, a concept emerged of Lemuria, a submerged continent proposed to explain geological and other similarities between Africa, Australia, the Indian subcontinent and Madagascar. Most notably, the presence of lemur-like primates in these disconnected lands. Tamil revivalists in the early 20th century linked this theory to the ancient Pandyas, a Tamil dynasty that existed from the 4th century BC to 14th century AD. Their legends clearly spoke of Kadal Kol, literally meaning lands seized by the ocean. Although debunked by the science of plate tectonics, the allure of Kumari Kandam has endured. It's a name steeped in lore, thought to be connected to women rulers or the Hindu goddess Kanya Kumari. Ancient Pandyan literature narrates chilling details of how their territories, with beautiful temples and palaces, vanished into the murky depths forever. Though discredited as mere myth, the remains of the famed 7 pagodas of Mahabalipuram were discovered in coastal Tamil Nadu after the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. Does this then prove all legends have a basis in fact? And so, the enchanting tale of Kumari Kandam continues to captivate us all.
Imagine a mystery dating back thousands of years, waiting to be cracked. Welcome to the world of undeciphered scripts. Let's jump right in. Number 5, the Linear A. Originating from ancient Crete, this script has left historians scratching their heads. Its secret? No known language descendants. Number 4, the Proto-Elamite. Hailing from ancient Iran, it's one of the first scripts ever, but with isolated language origins, it remains a puzzle. Number 3, the Indus script. From the Bronze Age civilization of Indus Valley, it's one of the earliest urban scripts, but with insufficient text examples, it remains undeciphered. Number 2, the Mesoamerican scripts. They're ancient, they're intricate, and they're mostly undeciphered, except for the Maya and Aztec scripts, of course. And topping the chart at number 1, the Voynich manuscript. A handwritten book filled with cryptograms and disguised texts. It's the ultimate code waiting to be cracked.
Imagine stepping into a realm where history, mystery, and treasure merge. Welcome to the Anantha Padmanabhaswamy Temple in Kerala, India. It's a grand Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Vishnu. In 2011, the Supreme Court unlocked the temple's subterranean vaults, revealing a treasure trove that left the world in awe. Gold thrones, crowns, coins, statues, ornaments, diamonds, and precious stones. A collection so vast it's considered the largest in recorded history. Priceless ancient artifacts from the Chera, Pandya, Greek and Roman epochs lie within, roughly estimated to be $1 trillion worth. Accumulated over thousands of years, these treasures were donated by various dynasties and safeguarded in the temple. Today, the Travancore royal family manages the temple's affairs. A testament to time, a visit to the Padmanabhaswamy temple is akin to a journey into the richness of history and faith.
Did humans and dinosaurs ever live together? It's a question that sparked curiosity and debate. Prevailing scientific consensus suggests they didn't. Dinosaurs, you see, went extinct around 66 million years ago, courtesy an asteroid impact. Quite the exit, isn't it? But here's an intriguing twist. Birds, descendants of dinosaurs, are considered living dinosaurs. Yes, that sparrow chirping outside your window, a tiny T-Rex in disguise, if you will. In 2023, a study threw a curveball suggesting early mammals, including precursors to humans, cohabited with dinosaurs before the mass extinction. It questioned fossil classification, underlining the complexity of identifying ancient creatures. While the debate continues, evidence leans towards humans evolving long after non-avian dinosaurs perished. So the Flintstones might just remain a work of fiction. Immerse in the depths of Dante Alighieri's Inferno, the first part of his Divine Comedy. A journey through hell guided by the ancient poet Virgil, this journey is symbolic of the soul's yearning towards God. It all starts on Maundy Thursday 1300 when Dante stumbles upon beasts symbolizing various sins. Virgil, his guide, leads him through 9 circles of torment, each a fitting punishment for sinners who rejected spiritual values. The structure is based on Aristotle's ideas, layered with Christian symbolism. 9 circles, each with further subdivisions. The poem delves into themes of contrapasso, divine justice, and the dire consequences of unrepentant sin. In the Inferno, sinners are faced with their deeds, a chilling reminder of the importance of spiritual values.
Ever heard of stigmata? The mysterious wounds, scars, and pain that correspond to the crucifixion wounds of Jesus Christ? Primarily witnessed in Catholicism, it's a phenomenon that's as fascinating as it is puzzling. The first recorded stigmatic? St. Francis of Assisi, back in the 13th century. Stigmata is predominantly observed in women with wounds resembling the 5 sacred wounds of Christ. Some stigmatics even claim to live on minimal food or water, relying solely on Holy Communion. And the Catholic Church? It's cautious, acknowledging miracles but refraining from formal recognition because yes, fraud has been identified in some cases, but the mystery remains. Stigmata, a manifestation of deep faith or a mere trickery? That's something to ponder upon. Until then, this physical manifestation remains a testament to the enduring complexities of faith and devotion. Did giants truly walk the earth in ancient times? Historical texts and folklore tales whisper of colossal beings, towering over men and landscapes alike. Greek mythology speaks of the Titans, beings of immense size and strength. Turning east, Hindu scriptures recount tales of Daityas, a race of giant gods. Meanwhile, biblical narratives mention the Nephilim, giant offspring of divine beings mingling with humans. Archaeological findings? Scant, often disputed. Giant skeletal remains, mostly hoaxes, yet some still baffle the scientific community. So, did giants exist? The answer remains shrouded in the mists of time and the veils of mythology. But one thing is certain. These tales of towering beings continue to captivate and mystify. Giants of the past, real or imagined, live on, casting long shadows in our collective consciousness. Enter the realm of the unknown, where myths become reality, unveiling the top 5 cryptids that turned out to be real. First, the devil bird. This creature of Sri Lankan folklore was identified as the spot-bellied eagle owl, its eerie cry resonating through the night. Second, the Ziphius, a fearsome sea monster inspired by none other than Cuvier's beaked whale. Third, the Bondigazu. Once a tree-dwelling legend, now recognized as the dingiso, a marsupial native to Indonesia. Fourth, the platypus. This oddball, with its duckbill and beaver tail, was initially dismissed as a hoax. Finally, the Komodo dragon. A creature of myth until 1926, when it was confirmed as a real species. From folklore to fact, these cryptids remind us that truth can indeed be stranger than fiction.
Strange and weird superstitions can be found in every corner of the world. Here's a countdown to 5 of them. 1. South Korea. Fan death. The belief that sleeping in a closed room with a running fan can lead to death. 2. Russia. Whistling indoors. It's thought to bring bad luck and attract evil spirits. 3. Japan. Tucking in your thumbs in a cemetery to prevent parents from dying, as the word for thumb, oyayubi, translates to parent finger. 4. Turkey. Chewing gum at night, believed to turn into the flesh of the dead. 5. India. Sweeping at night. It's believed to sweep away wealth and prosperity. So what superstition did you engage in today?
Venture into the eerie world of 5 fascinating carnivorous plants. First, the Venus flytrap, an icon of the plant kingdom, snapping shut on unsuspecting insects. Second, the sundew, its sticky tentacles ensnaring its prey in a fatal embrace. Third, the pitcher plant, a devious trap. Insects, lured by nectar, slip into its deadly pool, unable to escape. Fourth, the bladderwort, an aquatic hunter that sucks in its prey with a swift vacuum-like action. Finally, the cobra lily, a sinister serpent of the plant world. Its slippery interior leads insects to a watery grave. Remember, nature's beauty often hides deadly secrets.
In the vast expanse of the cosmos, do we truly stand alone? Theories abound. Some say extraterrestrial beings have already visited us, leaving behind perplexing signs in the form of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. These mysterious sightings have sparked countless debates and investigations. Across the globe, from the deserts of Nevada to the forests of Scotland, individuals claim encounters with these enigmatic objects. Are these mere illusions, or do they bear a startling reality? Scientists and skeptics argue for the lack of concrete evidence. Yet, enthusiasts and believers counter with the vastness of the universe, insisting that the possibility of other life forms is simply too great to dismiss. Dive into the mystery, the speculation, the unknown. Engage with the debate. The truth may be out there, waiting to be discovered.
Delve into the world of the unknown and mysterious. Here are the top 5 mythical creatures that have intrigued humankind for centuries. First, we have the phoenix, a bird engulfed in flames symbolizing rebirth and immortality. Next, the elusive unicorn, a horse-like creature with a single horn representing purity and grace. Thirdly, there's the mighty dragon, a fearsome beast breathing fire, embodying power and wisdom. Next in line, the mermaid, a beautiful half-woman, half-fish, personifying enchantment and seduction. Lastly, we have the griffin, a majestic creature with the body of a lion and the head of an eagle, symbolizing courage and strength.
Cue the apocalypse. Here are the top 5 potential ways the world could meet its end. First up, we have the ever-popular asteroid impact. Think dinosaurs and that giant space rock. Next, artificial intelligence overthrow. When machines get smart enough, they might just decide they don't need us anymore. Third on our list is nuclear warfare, a human-made disaster that could wipe us out in the blink of an eye. Fourth, we've got pandemic. A supervirus could potentially eradicate us all. And finally, the heat death of the universe. It's a slow burner, but eventually all energy might just run out.
Scientists exploring a rift 5 kilometers or 5,000 meters beneath the sea off New Zealand recently discovered approximately 100 new marine species, including unidentified organisms and peculiar creatures. Biologists found sea pigs, glowing squids, large sea cucumbers, and eel pouts during an expedition in the Bounty Trough area. The mission aimed to uncover new species before they are lost forever, revealing diverse organisms. Cameras lowered to the seafloor captured unknown marine life, including new types of mollusks, snails, and octocoral, living at unexpected depths. Comprehensive mapping of the previously underexplored Bounty Trough region offers new insights into the underwater ecosystem, including multiple ridges and peaks.
Imagine a carpet, not just any carpet, but a legendary green silk carpet capable of flight. This isn't a tale from a fantasy novel, but a hoary legend tied to none other than King Solomon. Yes, that's right, the wise King Solomon from biblical times. Legend has it he owned a magic carpet. It was said to be so large it could carry an entire army. Swift as the wind, it transported Solomon to his desired destination. Historians and scholars hotly debate if this carpet was real or merely a figment of ancient imagination. Some state it's symbolic, representing Solomon's wisdom and far-reaching influence. Others suggest it's a fanciful legend from later storytellers. So did King Solomon really own a flying carpet? The answer will remain shrouded in mystery, perhaps forever. Stories, after all, are the threads that weave together the magic carpet of our collective past.
Ancient Egypt and Pharaoh's curses are synonymous with each other. But how much of this alleged influence long-dead Egyptian rulers exert from beyond the grave is true? Let's find out by studying an intriguing and famous case. It was the find of a lifetime, but sadly the joy of one of Egyptology's greatest discoveries proved to be short-lived. Tragedy struck barely 6 weeks following the opening of Tutankhamun's burial chamber in 1923 by Howard Carter. The British archaeologist's wealthy patron, the debonair George Edward Stanhope Molyneux Herbert, better known to the world as the 5th Earl of Carnarvon or Lord Carnarvon, who was in the thick of the action, died on April 5, 1923. Soon, rumour-mongering took centre stage and myths and legends about the mummy's curse abounded. A frustrated Carter, who was in the throes of despair on losing a dear friend, let it be known that all sane people should dismiss such inventions with contempt. But it did little to hinder those who wished to make a quick buck by peddling hideous tales to the press, including some journalists themselves. Owing to the demise of the Earl from a mosquito bite that he nicked while shaving, which in turn led to blood poisoning and ultimately pneumonia, a few cited a non-existent plaque etched with the words, "Death shall come on swift wings to him that toucheth the tomb of the Pharaoh." It was claimed that the object on which this ominous warning was written had been spirited away by the discoverer duo immediately after finding the tomb. while the famous writer and spiritualist Sir Arthur Conan Doyle attributed the sudden turn of events to elementals, not souls, not spirits, created by Tutankhamun's priests to guard the tomb. Arthur Weigel, the former Antiquities Service Inspector and Carter's nemesis, who was on the payroll of the Daily Mail for a while as special correspondent, is believed to have remarked on witnessing Lord Carnarvon's good humour at the opening of the burial chamber. "If he goes down in that spirit, I give him 6 weeks to live." Though many people associated with Tutankhamun's tomb are said to have met their end in inexplicable ways, Howard Carter, the discoverer and excavator of the Boy King's burial place, died peacefully 17 years later, in 1939.
The enigmatic Black Knight satellite, a peculiar object that has allegedly been orbiting Earth for thousands of years, has sparked great speculation, debate, and fascination among conspiracy theorists and astronomers alike for well over a century since it was first detected. Is it a classified United States military project, a derelict Cold War-era Russian spy satellite lost in the vastness of space, or an extraterrestrial probe monitoring Earth? When Russian cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev, who was a part of the 6-member crew of the NASA STS-88 Endeavour mission, looked out of the shuttle window to take photographs of an unknown object following NASA's protocol for UFO sightings, little could he have imagined the incredible excitement and controversy his actions would cause back on Earth. Although Krikalev was not the first to capture the strange-looking object on camera, his effort arguably produced the clearest pictures of the purported Black Knight satellite in 100 years. Intriguingly, those sensational photographs were published by NASA on their official website. Ufologists relished the opportunity to scrutinize the pictures, declaring they proved the Black Knight satellite was no figment of imagination, and that, as they had contended all along, it was an object of alien origin sent to surveil Earth from afar for unknown purposes. The dark satellite, or Black Knight satellite, grabbed the attention of scientists in the early days of space exploration during the 1950s, when puzzling signals were detected in near-polar orbit of the Earth. It was a time of heightened tensions between the United States of America and the Soviet Union. Inexplicable occurrences, whose sequence appears to have been orchestrated by some unseen hand, happened on the back of a series of events involving the United States. These unprecedented episodes broadly include the Battle of Los Angeles during the Second World War in February 1942, the detonation of the first atomic bomb in White Sands Proving Ground, New Mexico, in July 1945, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August of the same year, sightings of odd aerial objects by pilot Kenneth Arnold in Washington State in June 1947, which were termed flying saucers in the press, the alleged crash of an extraterrestrial disk, and the subsequent retrieval of alien bodies in Roswell, New Mexico in July 1947, and finally, UFO sightings over Washington, D.C. on 2 consecutive Saturday nights in July 1952 that caused widespread fear. A noteworthy addition to this list is the considerable panic that ensued during an October 1938 Halloween radio broadcast. Directed and chillingly narrated by Orson Welles, a radio drama of The War of the Worlds, the classic sci-fi novel penned by H.G. Wells, left terrified listeners thinking a Martian invasion was underway. All these events were still fresh in people's minds, and sightings of UFOs or unidentified flying objects became a regular feature, what with the paranoid citizenry having their eyes glued to the skies. The 1950s were also an era when the possibility of life on other planets and alien visitations began to enter public consciousness more than it ever had over the past half a century. Newspaper reports and magazine articles, science fiction novels and Hollywood movies, and of course, ufology societies kept everyone informed and on the edge of their seats. On May 14, 1954, bang, in the middle of the Cold War, the Aviation Week and Space Technology magazine reported that the United States Air Force had detected at least one and possibly two artificial satellites circling the Earth, and that they were being kept under close observation. In the normal course, such news would have constituted run-of-the-mill reportage, hardly raising eyebrows among the public, though it would doubtless have caused alarm in the Defense Department and echelons of political power if these objects were assumed to be spy satellites. But the Aviation Week article sent chills down everyone's spines, because at the time it was published, humans had still not achieved the capability to launch satellites in orbit. The shocking information about the mysterious satellites was revealed by Donald Edward Keyhoe, a Marine Corps major-turned-UFO researcher and founder of the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, or NICAP, who claimed government scientists working at White Sands, New Mexico, had made the discovery. The Air Force issued a vehement denial to Keyhoe's statement, maintaining they were not watching any satellites, artificial or otherwise. Skeptics, on the other hand, accused Keyhoe of making outlandish statements to promote his latest book on UFOs. Yet, behind the scenes, the Pentagon swiftly swung into action, even as a stunned U.S. citizenry grappled with the implications of the news. Upon tracking two satellites emitting radio signals as they circled at 400 miles and 600 miles above our planet, Pentagon officials immediately suspected the Soviet Union. The Russians were not just blamed of espionage, but were presumed to have beaten the United States in the space race. The Russians categorically denied these charges, and in turn held the Americans responsible for the satellites. If neither the US nor Russia had secretly sent a satellite into space, whom did it belong to? Aliens, claim UFO hunters, convinced that it was the Black Knight satellite. The Air Force sought the help of Dr. Lincoln La Paz, the then head of the Extraterrestrial Bodies Institute at the University of New Mexico, to determine the nature of the anomalous objects. Dr. La Paz was no ordinary scientist. He possessed vast experience in conducting UFO investigations for the U.S. Air Force, particularly the Roswell non-terrestrial vehicle crash incident of 1947. La Paz teamed up with astronomer Clyde Tombaugh, the discoverer of Pluto in 1930, to confirm that the near-Earth orbiting objects were natural, meaning they were no more than meteors. However, another version of events states that it was La Paz and Tombaugh who had originally detected the two objects in the murky darkness of space while working on behalf of the Air Force, hinting they could be artificially built satellites, and that the duo later stoutly denied ever having made such an erroneous identification or even working together at White Sands Missile Range. Since the Aviation Week article received tremendous traction amongst the press and public, the Pentagon rushed to allay growing fears about the unusual outer space objects. The scare over the observance of two previously unobserved satellites orbiting the Earth has dissipated with the identification of the objects as natural, not artificial satellites. Ufologists, though, assert this was the convenient, conventional explanation, one meant to distract and steer the public away from the truth. They point to the fact that the Soviet Union launched the beach ball-sized Sputnik 1, humankind's first-ever artificial satellite, into space from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan only in October 1957. a full 3 years after the detection of the so-called Black Knight satellite. But ufologists could hardly have imagined that there was much more to come in this extraordinary saga. On February 11, 1960, a New York Times article reported that U.S. tracking stations had detected a mysterious dark and silent satellite wheeling overhead on a regular and roughly pole-to-pole or polar orbit. Such an orbit would endow the object with the exceptional capability to observe every part of the Earth's surface. The Navy had employed the latest component of the Space Watch program called Dark Fence, designed by the Naval Research Laboratory to find and track this satellite. It was a kind of radar tripwire that stretched across the width of the United States to help keep track of satellites whose radios had gone silent. When the object showed up during 2 passes of the Dark Fence, the news was communicated to President Eisenhower and marked top secret. However, though initially classified as a Soviet spy satellite, it was later revealed that the object constituted the remains of an Air Force Discoverer 5 satellite, one of the first photographic reconnaissance satellites built by the United States. You would be mistaken if you thought only UFO hunters believed that the strange objects detected in outer space were otherworldly. In 1960, Ronald Bracewell, professor of electrical engineering of the Space, Telecommunications, and Radio Science Laboratory at Stanford University, published an article in the authoritative scientific journal, Nature, in which he advanced the possibility of the presence of an alien probe that was trying to establish contact with Earth. As proof of his theory, the scientist cited the phenomenon of delays in radio signals observed since the beginning of the 20th century. In 1961, French author, ufologist, and astronomer Jacques Vallée divulged that while working on the staff of the French Space Committee, he had taken photos and filmed a bright oil tanker-sized satellite. While tracking its trajectory, Vallée realized it was in a retrograde orbit, meaning in an east-to-west orbit, opposite to Earth's rotation. However, when he showed the astounding scientific material he had gathered to his superiors, he claims it was not just confiscated, but destroyed. Certain UFO researchers opine that amateur American astronomer Stephen Slayton was the first to observe the mysterious object way back in 1958. While observing the moon with a 20-inch telescope, Slayton is said to have witnessed a dark spherical object moving at high speed on an unusual elliptical trajectory before disappearing when it reached the edge of the lunar disk. Based on these characteristics, he concluded it was artificial. But the U.S. military dismissed Slayton's sighting as a meteorite flying near the moon, as the object had not been recorded by any radar station. According to researchers, there are 2 possible origins of the name Black Knight. The first one maintains that it was derived from a 1972 science fiction novel, The Destruction of Fianna, by Soviet author Alexander Kazantsev. In the story, a civilization from the planet Phaeton that was destroyed in a nuclear disaster had launched the Black Prince satellite into Earth's orbit to communicate with Earthlings. When Kazantsev's novel was translated into English, the phrase Black Prince was changed to Black Knight. It is believed that this fictitious satellite lent its name to the space object discovered by Slayton. The second option is connected to United Kingdom's research ballistic missile called the Black Knight that was launched at Woomera, Australia on September 7, 1958. Whatever the origin of the mysterious satellite's moniker, it has stuck like glue.